what legacy does the paper leave in the community? Just that sense of family, that the people out there outside of the walls of the building, that they were important to us, not just because they were buying the paper or something like that, but they were important. That we were just not going and doing a story because we had to, but because we were interested in who they are. We were interested in the story they had to tell. And I think when you lose sight of that, when it just becomes, oh, it's another assignment, then you kind of lose that personal touch, that human touch, if you will, to a story. And we never lost that here. We never lost that. It was the people. I'm going to get emotional. It's the people that made this paper, and that kept it going. It kept it going for 131 years. My name is Carol Frazier. I'm a news editor and a reporter at the Daily News. I've been here for 32 years, and during that time I've covered everything from new innovations at the local hospitals, to council meetings and school board meetings, to accidents and fires, you name it, and I've covered it through the years. The first publication was July 1st, 1884. The circulation, I don't know what the circulation was that first year, but the second year it was up to 2,000, which was pretty impressive, because even though this was a pretty big and bustling city at the time, you had a lot of different ethnic backgrounds, and a lot of those people didn't speak English, and I'm assuming probably wouldn't have been able to read English. So to have that many people getting the paper was pretty impressive. At that time you had a lot of industry, like you had the mills going, you had railroad. Railroad was a big thing. You had a lot of people coming into this area to work on the railroads, to work in the coal mines. Those were bustling industries at the time. And then unfortunately, as those industries started to wane, the people in the communities, they started moving out to get to where the jobs were, closer to Pittsburgh and different areas. And so unfortunately, as that happened, the readership eventually started to drop. And you could really see it as the mills started to go by the wayside. Our peak circulation was in 1971, and we were close to 50,000. And then you could just see from the years after that, how the circulation would just gradually just start diminishing and diminishing. And it was because you didn't have as many people working in the mills, and then the eventual demise of the steel industry in this area. People just weren't here to read the paper. But people rely on that paper. You know, coming out of the mills at the end of their shifts, they would buy it. When people would say they were coming to town, they didn't mean they were going to Pittsburgh. They meant they were coming into McKeesport. I mean, it was really a bustling town, a bustling community. The whole Mon Valley at one time was really thriving. And once the steel industry went down, unfortunately, a lot of the community flavor, if you will, kind of died by the wayside along with that, which is sad. Yeah, the paper has been around, well, for 131 years. The paper was a key, integral part of this town and this whole community. That there was just this close-knit tie with the people inside this building and the people outside this building. In A Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens' story, A Christmas Carol, one of the lines with Scrooge is, you know, mankind was my business. And I think that's what, like, an unwritten maybe motto was for our paper, was, you know, mankind was our business. That we wanted to tell their story. Without the people, without the community out there, we were nothing. You know, we wouldn't exist. But when you get phone calls with people saying, you know, hey, you know, it's probably not interesting to you, but we have, I have this story, I do this, would you be interested in it? And then we go and we do a story. To see people's faces just light up because somebody was interested in something that they did, that's going to be lost. So my hope for this community, for this area, is that doesn't have to die with the paper closing, that somebody will step up in one form or another. I don't know what that form might look like, but in one form or another to keep that going, to keep the stories of the people in the Mon Valley alive. You know, because if somebody doesn't do that, if somebody doesn't record that history, then it's just going to die. And that would be sad. That would be a tragedy. You know?